5 potential rewards for Dridha-Vrata by Krishna's mercy. Anyepi tvam hanishyanti vadishyanti janastvidam asuroyam suranstoti marjar iva mushkan dveshyan shikiva fanino durnimittamidam dhruvam labdhvapi mahadaishwaryam laghavam yantya buddhayaha. Quote, others will also ridicule and scorn, saying, this child is an asura, but prays to the gods. It is like a cat offering prayers to a mouse or a peacock to a snake. This is indeed a bad omen, behaviour resembling an enemy, as even after obtaining great wealth and power, an unintelligent person can fall down. Hiranyakashipu, speaking to Prahlada, Narasimha Purana, 4159-60. We heard it straight from the authority. Nothing lost in the translation, as the original text is still available. Though the transcription took place 5,000 years ago, through the special vision gifted to the assistant named Sanjaya, the connection feels real. It is like we are right there. We marvel at the telecommunication technology of today, how we can talk face-to-face with someone across the globe, but recording ability carrying the same potency has existed for centuries. This is the power of the written word. As Benjamin Franklin once referenced, there is the phrase in Latin, litera scripta manet. The written word remains. Bhagavad-gita shows the height of the positive potential of that reality. The written word that remains is the sound of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. His impromptu counselling session with the grief-stricken Arjuna is available for generation after generation to consult. One of the principal teachings in that conversation is this concept of a vow in dedication. The Sanskrit is Dridha-Vrata. The concept is mentioned explicitly 2 different times. One refers to the preparation ground, in how the individual clears away past demerits to be properly situated in devotion to God the person. Another reference is in describing the overall culture of devotion, practiced by saintly people of the highest esteem. They are always chanting the glories of the Almighty. They are so fixed in their vow that nothing can get in their way. Satatam kirtyanto mam, yatantascha dridha-vrata namasyantascha mam bhaktya, nitya yukta upaste. Quote, always chanting my glories, endeavouring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. Lord Krishna, Bhagavad-gita 9:14. We have the outline of the general conditions. We see what people in devotion do as opposed to people outside of devotion. We see that there is the prerequisite of setting aside papam, which is sin. Every saint has a past. Leave that sinful life in the past. Move forward. Move on. But what about the future? What happens to the person who follows in a dedicated vow? What does their Dridha-Vrata get them? What is the yield? Okay, there is always variety in the settings. Individual circumstances may vary. Sometimes we only see a short-term result, while impatiently waiting for the long-term impact. We have an idea of both in the historical example of Prahlada Maharaj. His vow was set since the time of birth, as he had heard the science of self-realization while within the womb. 1. Ridicule. Before anyone spoke a negative word, Prahlada heard about the potential. The father tried to scare the child based on a picture of peer pressure. You see, Prahlada appeared in a family of Daityas. This is like a race of creatures, but also identified based on their general tendencies. The Daityas are asuras. The asuras are the opposite of the suras, while the suras are the gods and look upwards towards their leader, their benefactor, and their protector, who is Vishnu. The asuras go in the opposite direction. Here was Prahlad, the blessed son of the leader of the Daityas, saying nice things about Vishnu. Here was Prahlad, the heir apparent to the throne, spontaneously worshipping the person hated by the asuras. What would the children in school think? Surely they would make fun of him. They would think that Prahlad had gone mad. After all, a cat does not submit before a mouse. The peacock does offer prayers to the snake. 2. Scorn. Prahlad did not budge. He did not show signs of animosity. It was more like he wasn't getting the message from the father. Hiranyakashipu's portrayal of peer pressure at school did not make a dent. Rather, Prahlad would have no problem speaking the same to his classmates. While everyone else is interested in playing, in running around and tagging a fellow student, Prahlad would emphasize the importance of worshipping Vishnu from the tender age of childhood. Shri Prahlad Ovach, Kaumar Acharit Pragyo Dharman Bhagavataniha, Durlabham Manusham Janma Tadapya Dhruvamarthadam. Quote, Prahlad Maharaj said, "One who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life, in other words, from the tender age of childhood, to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. The human body is most rarely achieved, and although temporary like other bodies, it is meaningful because in human life one can perform devotional service. Even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection." Srimad Bhagavatam 761. 3. Harassment. Hiranyakashipu was not happy. He scorned Prahlad for his dedication to Vishnu. It was like the child was showing his disloyalty. The child was no longer someone to protect. Harassment of the teachers was next. Indeed, they must be responsible. They probably said something to turn the child against the father. The teachers were on the brink of getting in trouble, all because of the devotion in Prahlad. 4. Attacks. Don't want to play ball? Don't want to listen to the father? Want to make the teachers look bad? Insist upon praising this Vishnu character? Poisoning the well of future stars by teaching the other students about devotional service, bhakti yoga? This earned Prahlad attacks from people much bigger than him, from people of authority, from people who knew what they were doing. The reward for the Dridha-Vrata was lethal force. 5. Watching your object of worship appear in the most amazing form. Prahlad was a special case. The attacks did not work. The threats were long since abandoned. Tossing off a mountain top, placing inside a pit of fire, feeding to poisonous snakes. The Dridha-Vrata continued. That aligns with the original promise anyway. The individual might not continue in their current manifestation, but their devotion will never perish. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma, shashvat chantim nigacchati, kaunteya pratijanihi, name bhaktah pranashyati. Quote, He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Lord Krishna, Bhagavad-gita 9:31. Thus far Prahlada experienced negative reactions to his devotion. This was all setting the stage for the most positive outcome. Imagine if your Dridha-Vrata warranted the appearance of your very object of worship. Imagine if Vishnu appeared in front of you and others in a vision that was never seen before. Imagine if the people who had abused you for so long, who insisted that you were crazy, who refused to acknowledge the reality of the highest power overseeing everything, suddenly had all of their claims squashed, both literally and figuratively. It was Prahlada who was laughing last, except he felt no need to rub it in, to boast, or to take pleasure in the pain of others. The person devoted to Vishnu with such strength asked for pardon for the greatest aggressor, his own father. Shri Bhagavan Uvach Trih Saptabih Pita Putah Pitribih Sahate Nagha Yat Sadho Isya Kulle Jato Bhavanve Kul Pavanaha. Quote, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Prahlad, O most pure, O great saintly person, your father has been purified, along with 21 forefathers in your family. Because you were born in this family, the entire dynasty has been purified. Srimadam Bhagavatam 7.10-18. In closing, hanging on every word, presentation dutifully heard, devotion setting in now, strong proceeding in vow. What immediate reward to get? Ridicule, scorn, and threat, even towards violence can proceed, but nursing at end indeed.